Commander Jiho Kim rubbed his tired eyes as the station's artificial day cycle began. 15 years in deep space had taught him that the quiet moments never lasted. This morning proved that rule once again when his communication device buzzed with an urgent message. "Captain, we have a situation with the Voidari delegation," said his first officer's voice. "They're demanding an immediate meeting." Jiho sighed. The alien visitors had arrived 3 days ago on Outpost Helios 7, the farthest human station from Earth. The Voidari were known across the galaxy as difficult but powerful allies. Their tall, thin bodies and gray skin made them look almost like shadows, and their 4 eyes seemed to miss nothing. "Tell them I'll be there in 20 minutes, Jiho said. He dressed quickly in his blue commander's uniform and headed to the meeting room. When he arrived, the Voidari ambassador was already there. The tall alien stood stiffly beside 3 guards, all wearing the black armor that marked them as elite warriors. Jiho noticed something small and furry sitting near the ambassador's feet. It looked like a cat, but with short silver fur covered in strange scars. The creature watched everyone with intelligent yellow eyes. "Ambassador Vex, what seems to be the problem?" Jiho asked politely. The ambassador's translator device clicked before speaking in a flat voice. "One of your humans has touched the sacred vessel. This is forbidden." Jiho kept his face calm, though his heart beat faster. The sacred vessel must be the cat-like creature. He had been warned that the Voidari treated it as extremely important, though no one knew why. "I'm sorry to hear that. When did this happen?" The ambassador's 4 eyes narrowed. "During the night cycle. The female entered the area near our quarters and fed it without permission." Jiho frowned. "Let me see the security recordings." An aide brought up the video on a screen. It showed a woman in a science uniform kneeling down as the cat-like creature approached her. She had simply offered it something from her meal and gently touched its head. The creature had seemed to enjoy the attention. Jiho recognized the woman immediately. Lieutenant Hana Park, a new xenobiologist who had transferred to the station only a month ago. She was brilliant but sometimes ignored rules that didn't make sense to her. "The female has defiled the Karash," the Voidari ambassador said through his translator. "Our laws demand her immediate surrender for judgment." "What kind of judgment?" Jiho asked carefully. "That is not your concern. She has committed a sacred crime and must face Voidari justice." Jiho stood straighter. "Lieutenant Park is under Earth Alliance protection. We'll investigate this incident, but she remains under our jurisdiction." The ambassador's skin darkened with anger. "This is unacceptable. The crime was against our most sacred laws. I understand. But I won't hand over a member of my crew without proper cause. Tell me why touching this creature is so forbidden." The ambassador was silent for a moment. "The Karash is not for humans to understand. It carries the spirit of our ancestors. The female's touch has contaminated it." Jiho noticed the cat-like creature watching him with unusual focus. Its yellow eyes seemed almost to be trying to communicate something. "I will speak with Lieutenant Park and determine appropriate consequences," Jiho said firmly. "Now, if there's nothing else. If you refuse to surrender the female, there will be serious diplomatic problems," the ambassador interrupted. "The Voidari hegemony controls 27 star systems. The Earth Alliance cannot afford to make us enemies." It was a clear threat. Jiho felt a cold weight in his stomach. Earth was still new to the galactic community, and the Voidari were right. Humans couldn't afford a conflict with such a powerful species. "I'll consider your request, Ambassador. For now, Lieutenant Park will be confined to quarters while we investigate further." The ambassador didn't look happy, but nodded stiffly. "You have 1 day to make the right decision, Commander." After the meeting, Jiho sent security to bring Hana to his office. When she arrived, he noticed the determined look in her dark eyes. Despite being in trouble, she stood confidently. "Lieutenant Park, do you know why you're here?" he asked. "I'm guessing it's about the cat, sir," she replied. "The Voidari call it the Karash, and they consider it sacred. You were instructed not to approach their quarters." Hana nodded. "I know, sir, but I didn't go to their quarters. The creature came to me in the mess hall. It seemed hungry, Jiho pulled up the security video. The recording shows you feeding and touching it. Yes, sir. It approached me and rubbed against my leg. I didn't think feeding a hungry animal would cause an interstellar incident. The Voidari are demanding we hand you over for punishment, Jiho said seriously. Hana's eyes widened. For petting a cat? That's ridiculous. They don't see it as just a cat. They call it a sacred vessel. There's something strange about that creature, Hana said quietly. When I touched it, I felt something, like a presence in my mind. Jiho frowned. What do you mean? It's hard to explain. For a moment I thought I heard words, but not with my ears. It was trying to communicate. That's impossible. Our scans showed it was just an animal. With respect, sir, our scans might be wrong. That creature is intelligent, I'm certain of it. Jiho studied Hana carefully. She had an excellent record despite sometimes breaking minor rules. She wasn't the type to imagine things. You're confined to quarters until further notice, Lieutenant. The Voidari have given us 1 day to decide what to do. Are you going to hand me over? She asked directly. No, Jiho said firmly. Whatever happens, you're part of my crew. We don't abandon our people. After Hana left, Jiho called his security chief. I want continuous monitoring of Lieutenant Park's quarters and the Voidari delegation. Something doesn't feel right about this situation. That night, as Jiho reviewed reports in his office, his science officer called with disturbing news. Sir, we've detected unusual energy readings from the Voidari quarters. And there's something else. A subspace message was sent from their ship. Our computers only caught part of it, but it mentioned awakening and containment failure. Jiho felt a chill run up his spine. Increase security throughout the station. Whatever's happening, I don't think this is just about someone petting their sacred cat. In her quarters, Hana sat on her bed, unable to sleep. The encounter with the scarred, cat-like creature kept replaying in her mind. There had been intelligence in those yellow eyes, and something else. A silent cry for help. Her door chime sounded, startling her. When she opened it, there was no one there. But when she looked down, the creature, Scarcat, as she had started, thinking of it, stared up at her with those knowing yellow eyes. Without hesitation, it slipped into her room as the door closed behind it. You shouldn't be here, Hana whispered. The creature approached her bed and jumped up gracefully. As it settled beside her, Hana felt that strange presence in her mind again. This time, it was stronger and clearer. Help us, the voice in her head said. You are the first to hear us in centuries, Hana gasped. Who are you? The answer came not in words but in images that flooded her mind, of stars and ships and a history that humanity had forgotten. And with it came the understanding that the diplomatic crisis was just beginning. The Voidari had lied about everything. Hana stared at the scarred, cat-like creature sitting on her bed. Its silver fur gleamed under the dim lights of her quarters. The creature, Scarcat as she had named it, stared back with intelligent yellow eyes. How did you get in here? Hana whispered. The Voidari will be looking for you. Scarcat tilted its head. Hana felt a gentle pressure in her mind like someone knocking on a door. When she didn't resist, images and feelings flooded into her thoughts. She saw stars, distant worlds, and felt a deep sadness. You're trying to talk to me, she said with wonder. But how is this possible? More images came. Hana saw creatures, like Scarcat, but with unmarked silver fur, standing beside humans in strange clothes. They were working together, communicating as friends. Then came darker images, the tall shadows of Voidari attacking, capturing the cat-like beings, burning their world. Your people were friends with humans before, Hana said slowly. The Voidari attacked you. They're keeping you as, what? A prisoner? A feeling of agreement filled her mind. Then Scarcat showed her more. She saw the scars on its body glowing with faint blue light. They weren't wounds, but special markings, covered by something the Voidari had done to suppress them. These marks, Hana said, reaching out to touch one. They're important, aren't they? As her fingers brushed the largest scar on Scarcat's back, a warm energy passed between them. The mark glowed brighter for a moment. Scarcat's mental voice became clearer in her mind. My name is not Scarcat, the voice said. It cannot be spoken in your language. We are the Miran. We were allies of humans long ago, before the Voidari found us. Hana gasped. You really can talk, but why me? Why can I hear you when others can't? Some humans have the gift. Your mind is open. The Voidari feared our bond with humans. They hunted us, enslaved us, used us for their own power. They call us sacred vessels, but we are their tools. They use devices to block our minds and keep us weak. That's terrible, Hana said. Does Commander Kim know about this? Does anyone? No. The Voidari have hidden the truth for centuries. They have built their empire using our abilities. When you touched me in the meal room, something happened. Our minds connected, it weakened their control. Now they fear what might happen. That is why they want you. A sharp knock at her door made Hana jump. Lieutenant Park, security check, came a voice. Just a moment, Hana called. She looked at Scarcat with panic. You need to hide. But the creature didn't move. Instead, it seemed to fade slightly, becoming harder to see clearly. When Hana opened the door, Security Officer Min stood there. Just checking that you're following the confinement order, Lieutenant. Of course, Hana said, trying to sound normal. Is there any news about the situation? The commander is still in talks with the Voidari ambassador. They're not happy. Min looked past her into the room. Everything okay in there? Thought I heard you talking to someone. Just thinking out loud, Hana said quickly. Trying to understand why touching that creature was such a big deal. Min nodded. Well, stay put. We'll let you know when there's news. He left, and Hana closed the door with relief. She turned to find Scarcat fully visible again on her bed. How did you do that? He didn't see you at all. Simple mind suggestion. The Voidari use us for this skill. We can make others not notice what is right before them. But it only works on some minds and for short times. Hana sat beside Scarcat. Tell me everything. What are the Miran? Why are you so important to the Voidari? We were once a free people. We traveled the stars using the energy of our minds. We can move between worlds without ships. We shared this gift with early humans before your recorded history. Together we explored many places. Images showed Hana ancient scenes, humans and Miran building stone structures on Earth, traveling to distant planets sharing knowledge. Then the Voidari discovered us. They wanted our power. They could not use it themselves, but they found ways to steal it. They hunted us nearly to extinction. The few they captured were fitted with devices that block most of our abilities. The scars you see are where they placed, the blockers under our skin. That's why they call you sacred vessels, Hana realized. They're using you as living tools. Yes, they use us to enhance their technology, to help them communicate across great distances, to influence other species during negotiations. But they keep our true nature secret. If others knew what they were doing, there would be outrage. Hana finished. The other galactic species wouldn't allow it. The Voidari know this. When you touched me, our connection began to weaken their control. They fear what will happen if I fully awaken. They will do anything to stop it. A beep from her computer interrupted them. It was a message from Commander Kim. Emergency meeting at 800 hours. The Voidari have escalated their demands. Hana looked at the time, only 4 hours away. What should we do? I have to tell the commander what you've shown me. But will he believe me? He might not. But I can help. The bond between us grows stronger. Soon I may be able to speak to others through you, but we must be careful. The Voidari will sense if too much of my power returns. Why is our connection breaking their control? Hana asked. The Miran and humans share an ancient link. When the right human and Miran connect, it creates something the Voidari cannot block. Your touch began to wake parts of me that have been sleeping for centuries. Scarcat moved closer, and Hana felt warmth spread through her mind. Memories that weren't hers flowed in. Stars seen from impossible angles, the feeling of moving through space without a ship, the joy of mental connection with others. This is how you experience the world, she whispered in awe. Only a small part. The Voidari blocks still limit me. But with your help, they may fail completely. Then I can show you everything. Hana nodded, determination filling her. We need to convince Commander Kim about what's happening. The Voidari can't be allowed to keep enslaving your people. Yes, but be warned, they will fight to keep their secret. And their ship carries weapons that could destroy this station. They would rather kill everyone here than lose control of me. Then, we need to be smarter than them, Hana said. Can you stay hidden until the meeting? Maybe we can find a way to show the commander the truth. I will try. Our bond makes it harder for them to track me, but they have devices that can detect me if they search carefully. Scarcat's ears suddenly perked up and it looked toward the door. Someone is coming. Voidari guards. They know I am missing. Sure enough, Hana heard heavy footsteps in the corridor, then urgent knocking. Lieutenant Park, open up, station security. What do we do? Hana whispered desperately. Trust me, Scarcat replied. I will protect you. The bond between us is stronger than they know. As the door slid open and armed figures rushed in, Scarcat's eyes began to glow with bright blue light. The scars on its body pulsed with the same color, and for a moment, Hana felt power surge between them, a connection that went beyond words or thoughts. She knew then that everything was about to change, not just for her, but for humanity's place in the galaxy. A bright flash of blue light filled Hana's quarters. The security officers and Voidari guards stumbled back, shielding their eyes. When the light faded, they stared in confusion at Lieutenant Hana Park standing alone in the center of the room. Where is the sacred vessel? Demanded the lead Voidari guard, his 4 eyes scanning the room. I don't know what you're talking about, Hana said calmly. The human security officer, Min, checked his scanner. There's no other life form in this room. The Voidari guard stepped closer to Hana. It was here. We can sense the energy signature. Commander, Jiho Kim arrived, pushing through the group at the door. What's going on? Who authorized this search? The sacred vessel is missing, the Voidari guard said. We tracked it to this room. Jiho looked at Hana with concern. Lieutenant, do you know anything about this? Hana met his eyes. Sir, I need to speak with you privately. It's urgent. The Voidari guard moved forward. The female stays here. She must be questioned. Jiho stood firmly between them. Lieutenant Park is under my command. This is still a human station, and you have no authority to question my crew. The High Emissary demands her presence, the guard insisted. Then the High Emissary can make a formal request through proper channels, Jiho replied. Now please leave my crew members' quarters. After a tense moment, the Voidari guards left. Jiho ordered Min to stand guard outside, and then turned to Hana. You have 5 minutes to explain what's happening, he said. And it better be good. Hana took a deep breath. Sir, the creature they call their sacred vessel came to me. It's not what they claim it is. What do you mean? It's sentient, sir. It can communicate telepathically. Its species is called the Miran, and they were once allies with humans long ago. Jiho frowned. That's a serious claim, Lieutenant. Do you have any proof? I know how it sounds, Hana said, but the Voidari have been lying to everyone. They've enslaved the Miran and used them for their powers. And where is this creature now? Hana hesitated. It's safe, but I can't tell you where. Jiho studied her face. You realize the Voidari will tear this station apart looking for it? They're already threatening serious diplomatic consequences. Sir, please believe me. This is bigger than a diplomatic incident. The Voidari built their empire by enslaving an entire species. If the galactic community knew— We need more than your word, Lieutenant, Jiho interrupted. The Voidari control 27 systems. We can't accuse them of slavery without solid evidence. At that moment, a strange sensation passed through the room. Hana felt warmth spread through her mind, and she knew Scarcat was using their bond. "Commander," she said, her voice somehow different. "I believe I can provide that evidence." Jiho stepped back in surprise. Hana's eyes had a faint blue glow to them. "What's happening to you?" he asked. "I am speaking through Hana," the voice said. "I am one of the Miren, what your people have called Scarcat. Our minds are connected. Now," Jiho's hand moved toward his weapon. "If you're controlling my officer, no." Hana's normal voice returned. "Sir, it's okay. We're sharing consciousness. I'm still me. The Miran is just helping me communicate what it knows." Jiho looked uncertain. "This is beyond anything in our protocols." "Please, sir," Hana said. "Come to the emergency meeting. Let me show everyone the truth." 2 hours later, the station's conference room was filled with tension. Commander Kim sat at the head of the table with Ambassador Lee Jun, Earth's diplomatic representative. Across from them, the Voidari delegation sat stiffly, their 4 eyes constantly scanning the room. "This meeting is a waste of time," the Voidari High Emissary said. "Our sacred vessel is missing, and we know your officer is responsible. Return it immediately, or there will be consequences." Ambassador Lee spoke carefully. "We understand your concern, but we need to resolve this peacefully. What exactly is the significance of this vessel to your people?" "That is not your concern," the emissary replied. "It is sacred to us. That is all you need to know." Commander Kim nodded to the security officer at the door. "Bring in Lieutenant Park." Hana entered the room, her back straight and her face calm. All 4 Voidari immediately stood up. "You dare bring this defiler here?" the emissary hissed. "Lieutenant Park has information relevant to this situation," Jiho said. The Voidari ambassador pointed at Hana. "She has stolen our property. There is nothing to discuss except her surrender to our justice." "I haven't stolen anything," Hana said, "but I have learned the truth about the being you call your sacred vessel." "Silence," the emissary shouted. "Humans have no right to speak of our sacred matters." Ambassador Lee raised his hand. "Let her speak. If we're to resolve this, we need all the facts." Hana looked directly at the Voidari. "The creature you call a sacred vessel is actually a sentient being called a Miren. You've enslaved its people and used their telepathic abilities to build your empire." The room fell silent. The Voidari delegates grew very still. "These are dangerous lies," the emissary said quietly. "Not lies," Hana replied. "The Miren showed me the truth. It showed me how your people captured them, put devices under their skin to control them, and have used them for centuries." "Where is the vessel now?" the emissary demanded. Instead of answering, Hana turned to Commander Kim and Ambassador Lee. "The Miren were once allies with humans long before our recorded history. They helped early humans travel through space. The Voidari discovered this partnership and destroyed it, hunting the Miren nearly to extinction." The Voidari emissary stood up. "This meeting is over. Our patience has limits, humans. Return our property within 6 hours, or we will consider it an act of war." "It's not property," Hana insisted. "It's a living, thinking being with rights." 6 hours, the emissary repeated. Then the entire Voidari delegation left the room. As soon as they were gone, Ambassador Lee turned to Hana. "Do you have any proof of these claims? Because they just threatened war with Earth over this." "I can prove it," Hana said, "but you need to trust me." Jiho sighed. "Lieutenant, the Voidari have already called for their warship. It will arrive in 10 hours. If we don't return their vessel by then, they might attack the station." "Sir," Hana said, "the Miren wants to show you something, may I?" After a moment's hesitation, Jiho nodded. Hana closed her eyes. When she opened them again, they glowed with blue light. The same light began to shine faintly beneath her uniform, tracing patterns similar to the scars on Scarcat's body. "I am one of the last free Miren," a voice spoke through Hana. "What she has told you is true. My people have been enslaved by the Voidari for generations. They use us to power their technology, to strengthen their telepathic abilities, to manipulate other species during negotiations. Ambassador Lee stared in shock. This is impossible. The bond between Hana and me has awakened abilities the Voidari tried to suppress, the voice continued. They fear what will happen if others learn the truth. Their entire empire is built on the suffering of my kind. Where are you? Jiho asked. The actual physical you? A small smile appeared on Hana's face. Closer than you think, but revealing that would put us all in danger. The Voidari can track me when I'm physically visible. What do you want from us? Ambassador Lee asked. Help, the voice said simply. Help to free my people. Help to expose the Voidari's crimes to the galaxy. The blue glow faded, and Hana swayed slightly. Jiho caught her arm to steady her. Are you all right? He asked. Yes, Hana said. Her own voice returned. It takes energy for both of us when we share consciousness like that. Ambassador Lee paced the room. Even if everything you've said is true, we're talking about starting a war with one of the most powerful empires in the galaxy. The Earth Alliance isn't ready for that. We don't need to fight them directly, Hana said. The Mirren says there's another way. If we can broadcast the truth to other systems, show them what the Voidari have done. How? Jiho asked. We don't have that kind of communication range. Hana smiled. The Mirren do. That's one of the powers the Voidari have been using. With my help, Scarcat is getting stronger. Soon it might be strong enough to break through the Voidari's control completely. A warning alarm sounded throughout the station. Jiho rushed to the communication panel. Sir, the security officer's voice came through. A Voidari warship just appeared at the edge of the system. They're heading this way at full speed. Jiho looked grimly at Hana and Ambassador Lee. It seems they didn't want to wait 6 hours after all. We have a decision to make. What decision? Ambassador Lee asked. We can't fight that warship. No, Hana said, her eyes showing determination. But we can show the galaxy the truth. The command center of Outpost Helios 7 buzzed with urgent activity. Commander Jiho Kim studied the main screen showing the approach of the Voidari warship. Its black hull absorbed the light of the nearby sun, making it look like a moving shadow in space. Time to arrival? Jiho asked. 4 hours, sir, replied Major Taewon Park, the station's tactical officer. They're moving fast. Ambassador Lee paced nervously. We should contact Earth Alliance headquarters. We need backup. Our fastest ships would take 3 days to reach us, Jiho said. We're on our own. Hana stood quietly in the corner, her eyes occasionally flickering with blue light as she communicated silently with the Mirren. She approached the command table. Sir, I have an idea, she said. But it will sound strange. Jiho nodded for her to continue. The Mirren believes it can disable the Voidari ship. The warship uses Mirren technology, stolen and adapted from captured members of their species. If we can broadcast the right energy signature, it might disrupt their systems. Major Taewon looked skeptical. Our transmitters don't have that kind of power or range. They don't, Hana agreed. But the Mirren does. As our bond grows stronger, more of its abilities are returning. And where exactly is this Mirren? Ambassador Lee asked. We still haven't seen it. Hana took a deep breath. It's been with me all along. Our bond has allowed it to merge with me, in a way. Not physically, but our energies are connected. As if to demonstrate, blue light glowed beneath Hana's skin, tracing patterns like the scars on Scarcat's body. Dr. Suman Kang, the station's chief scientist, stepped forward with a scanner. The energy readings coming from Lieutenant Park are unlike anything I've seen before. They match the quantum signature we detect in faster-than-light drives. That's not possible, Jiho said. No living thing can generate that kind of energy. The Mirren can, Hana said. That's why the Voidari enslaved them. They're not just telepaths, they're living starships. Or they were before the Voidari put blocking devices in them to control their power. The room fell silent as everyone stared at Hana. Living starships, Jiho repeated slowly. You're saying this cat-like creature can travel through space on its own? Yes, Hana replied. The Miran evolved to survive in space. They can convert matter to energy at a cellular level. They once took humans with them on journeys between stars, long before we had our own technology. Dr. Suman checked her readings again. These energy patterns are definitely increasing. Whatever is happening to Lieutenant Park, it's accelerating. A warning alarm sounded. One of the communication officers turned to Commander Kim. Sir, the Voidari ship is hailing us. Put them on screen, Jiho ordered. The screen changed to show the Voidari High Emissary. His 4 eyes narrowed when he saw Hana standing with the command staff. Commander Kim, the emissary said coldly. I see the thief is still free. This disappoints us. We're still investigating the situation, Jiho replied. Your ship is approaching our station at high speed. I must ask your intentions. Our intentions are simple. Return our sacred vessel immediately, or we will take it by force. Jiho stood straight. There's no need for threats. We want a peaceful solution. Peace requires compliance, the emissary said. The female has stolen our property and has been corrupted by it. Scan her. You will see the vessel's energy signature merged with hers. Hana stepped forward. I haven't stolen anything. The Miran came to me for help. It's not your property, it's a sentient being you've enslaved. The emissary's gray skin darkened with anger. You know nothing of matters beyond your understanding. The corruption has already begun. Soon it will be too late. Too late for what? Jiho asked. For the vessel to be recovered safely, the emissary replied. If the awakening completes, it will be dangerous to all life in this system. For your own safety, surrender the female and the vessel. The screen went dark as the Voidari cut the transmission. They're lying, Hana said immediately. The Miran isn't dangerous to us. It's dangerous to the Voidari's control. Jiho turned to Dr. Sumin. What exactly is happening to Lieutenant Park? The scientist shook her head. The energy patterns are changing her at a cellular level. It's like nothing I've ever seen, but she appears stable and healthy. In fact, her vital signs are stronger than normal. I feel fine, Hana assured them. Better than fine. The Miran is sharing its knowledge with me. I'm beginning to understand how its powers work. Major Taiwan stepped closer, studying the tactical display. Sir, the Voidari ship has launched smaller craft. They're heading for the station. How many? Jiho asked. 3 shuttles. Estimated arrival in 30 minutes. Jiho turned to Hana. Whatever plan you and your friend have, we're running out of time. Hana nodded. We need to get to the main communication array. The Miran needs to connect to it directly. And how will it do that? Ambassador Lee asked. Through me, Hana said simply. 20 minutes later, Hana stood in the communication center with Jiho, Dr. Sumin, and Major Tae-won. The main array controls spread before them, a complex panel of screens and interfaces. What exactly are you planning to do? Jiho asked. The Miran can use the array to broadcast a signal, Hana explained. Not just to the Voidari ship, but to every system within 50 light years. The truth about what the Voidari have done to the Miran will be impossible to ignore. And you think that will stop them from attacking us? Major Tae-won asked doubtfully. No, Hana admitted. But it will expose their crimes to the galaxy, and the signal will also trigger something in other captured Miran across Voidari territory. It will begin to wake them up too. Dr. Sumin touched Hana's arm gently. This connection with the Miran, is it permanent? What will happen to you? Hana smiled. I'm still me. But yes, the bond is growing stronger. We're becoming something new together, something neither of us fully understands yet. A security alert flashed on the screens. Sir, Major Tae-won reported. Voidari shuttles are attempting to dock at 3 different airlocks. Security teams are responding, but they're using some kind of technology to override our locks. They're coming for Hana and the Miran, Jiho. Sarusi, we need to hurry. Hana approached the main console. I'm ready. Do it. Jiho ordered. Hana placed her hands on the control panel. Blue light spread from her fingers into the station systems. The lights in the room flickered as power surged through the communication array. Energy levels are off the charts, Dr. Sumin reported, watching her scanner. The array wasn't designed to handle this much power. Hana closed her eyes. The blue glow beneath her skin grew brighter, the patterns more distinct. They no longer looked like scars, but like elegant symbols covering her body. Something's happening, Major Taewan said, pointing to the main screen. The display showed the Voidari shuttles stopped in space, drifting powerless. Beyond them, the massive warship also appeared to be losing power, its lights flickering. "It's working," Jiho said in amazement. "Their systems are shutting down." Hana opened her eyes, now shining with bright blue light. When she spoke, her voice was layered with another deeper tone. "The signal has been sent," she said. "Across 27 systems, the truth is spreading. The Voidari can no longer hide what they've done." A new alarm sounded. Dr. Sumin checked her instruments. "Sir, I'm detecting a massive energy buildup in Lieutenant Park. It's unlike anything I've ever seen." "Is she in danger?" Jiho asked with concern. "I don't think so," Dr. Sumin replied. "But the energy is changing her at a fundamental level." The blue light surrounding Hana grew more intense. It began to take shape around her, a feline form of pure energy, much larger than Scarcat had been, with Hana at its center. "The transformation is beginning," Hana and the Mirren said together. "What was separated is becoming whole again." Jiho stepped back, watching in awe. "What's happening to you?" Hana smiled, her human features still visible within the growing energy form. "The Mirren are showing us what they truly are, what they were always meant to be." The room filled with blue light as the transformation continued, revealing the true nature of the being they had called Scarcat, and its ancient bond with humanity. The blue light surrounding Hana filled the communication center. Commander Jiho Kim and the others shielded their eyes as the energy pulsed and grew. When they could look again, they gasped at what they saw. Where Hana had stood was now a swirling form of energy, vaguely cat-like in shape but much larger. Within this glowing form, they could see Hana suspended in the center, her eyes closed as if in peaceful sleep. The strange symbols that had appeared on her skin now shone brightly, connecting to similar patterns throughout the energy field. "Is she alive?" Ambassador Lee asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Dr. Sumin checked her scanner. "Her vital signs are strong. In fact, they're better than normal. But this energy field, it's like nothing I've ever seen." The energy form moved, turning toward them. When it spoke, they heard both Hana's voice and another deeper tone speaking together. "We are both here," the voices said. "The bond between us is complete now. What the Voidari tried to prevent for centuries has happened." Jiho stepped forward, cautiously. "Lieutenant Park, can you hear me?" "Yes, Commander," Hana's voice answered, slightly more prominent than the other. "I'm still me, but I'm also more now. I understand what the Mirren truly are." "And what is that?" Jiho asked. "We are travelers," the blended voice explained, "born of energy and matter together. The forms you saw, both my cat-like shape and Hana's human form, are just small parts of what we truly are." Major Taewan pointed to his monitor. "Sir, the Voidari shuttles are regaining power, and their warship is charging weapons, the energy being turned toward the screen. They will try to destroy us now. The bond between human and Mirren is what they have feared most. It threatens their entire empire." "We need to evacuate the station," Jiho said urgently. "If they open fire—" "There is another way," the being interrupted. "We can show them the truth directly. Not just data sent through communication channels, but the actual history they have tried to erase." "How?" Dr. Sumin asked. "We must go to them," the being replied. "In our true form." Before anyone could respond, alarms blared through the station. "5 Voidari boarding parties have breached our security," Major Taewan reported. "They're heading this way." Jiho looked at the energy being that contained Hana. Whatever you're planning, do it quickly. The being nodded, then moved toward the nearest viewport. The energy field passed through the solid wall as if it weren't there. Follow us to the main docking bay, the voices said. We will need a way to reach the Voidari ship. 10 minutes later, Jiho, Dr. Sumin, and Major Taiwan arrived at the docking bay. Security teams were engaged in firefights with Voidari soldiers at multiple points throughout the station, but the path to the bay had remained strangely clear. The glowing energy form waited beside a small transport shuttle. This will be our vessel, it said. That small shuttle can't fight a warship, Major Taiwan objected. It won't need to, the being replied. It just needs to get us close enough. Jiho made a quick decision. I'm coming with you. So am I, Dr. Sumin added. The energy being seemed to consider this. Very well, but understand. What you will. Witness has not been seen by human eyes for thousands of years. They boarded the shuttle quickly. Jiho took the pilot's seat while Dr. Sumin continued to monitor the energy readings coming from the transformed Hana. Major Taiwan stayed behind to coordinate the station's defense. All personnel have moved to the inner sections, Taiwan reported over the comm. The Voidari are still searching, but they haven't reached the core yet. Keep them busy, Jiho ordered. We're going to try to end this at the source. The shuttle, launched from the station, heading directly toward the massive Voidari warship. As they approached, energy beams shot out from the warship's weapons. They've locked weapons on us, Jiho said, trying to evade the attacks. The energy being moved forward in the shuttle. Do not fear, they cannot harm us now. As the energy beams reached the shuttle, the glowing field expanded, surrounding the entire vessel in blue light. The weapons fire simply vanished where it touched the field. Impossible, Dr. Sumin whispered, checking her readings. The energy is being absorbed somehow. The Miran evolved to travel through space, the being explained. We can convert energy to matter and back again. It is how we survived between the stars. The shuttle continued toward the Voidari ship, now completely surrounded by the blue energy field. As they drew closer, the warship launched fighters to intercept them. We're outnumbered, Jiho said. Numbers do not matter, the being replied, only truth. The energy field pulsed and suddenly the shuttle accelerated to incredible speed. They reached the Voidari ship in seconds, stopping just outside its main hull. What now? Dr. Sumin asked. The energy form answered by expanding again, this time engulfing the entire shuttle. Jiho and Dr. Sumin felt a strange sensation, as if they were floating in warm water. Do not be afraid, the voices said. We are taking you with us. The shuttle's hull peeled away like paper, and Jiho watched in amazement as they passed through the solid metal of the Voidari warship as if it were not there. Moments later, they stood in what appeared to be the ship's command center. Voidari officers reached for weapons, but froze at the sight before them. The High Emissary stepped forward, his 4 eyes wide with what looked like fear. You should not exist, he said to the energy being. The bonding was prevented. You failed, the blended voice replied. What was meant to be has returned, and now everyone will know the truth. The energy being expanded once more, filling the entire command center with blue light. Within that light, images began to appear, moving pictures of the past. Jiho and Dr. Sumin watched in awe as the history of the Miran played out before them. They saw the cat-like beings evolving, developing their energy forms, traveling through space. Then came scenes of early humans working together with the Miran, building great structures exploring distant worlds. Finally, they witnessed the Voidari attack, the systematic hunting of the Miran, the devices implanted to control them, the creation of an empire built on enslaved power. This is the truth you tried to hide, the being said to the Voidari. Not just from humans, but from all species in the galaxy. The High Emissary fell to his knees. If this becomes known, our empire will collapse. Your empire deserves to fall, the being replied, but that is not for us to decide. We have sent the truth to all worlds within reach. What happens now depends on how your people respond. The blue light pulsed once more, and suddenly all the Voidari in the room collapsed, unconscious but alive. What did you do to them? Jiho asked. Showed them the full truth, directly into their minds, the being explained. They will sleep while they process it. Some may change, others will not. Dr. Sumin moved closer to the energy form. And what about Hana? What happens to her now? The energy shifted, and Hana's form became more visible within it. Her eyes opened and she smiled. I'm still here, she said, her voice now distinct from the deeper tone. But I've chosen to stay bonded with the Miran. There's so much to learn, so much to rediscover. Will you come back to the station? Jiho asked. For now, Hana replied. But soon, we must find the others. More Miran are awakening across Voidari space. They will need guidance, and so will the humans they choose to bond with. A new beginning, Dr. Sumin said with wonder. An old beginning made new again. The deeper voice corrected. The partnership that should have been. 3 months later, Commander Jiho Kim stood at the large viewport on Outpost Helio 7, watching as 5 glowing forms gathered in space before the station. Each was different in shape and color, but all contained the same swirling energy that had first surrounded Hana. Beside him stood Hana, now able to shift between her human form and the merged energy state with the being once called Scarcat. You're really leaving today? Jiho asked. Yes, Hana replied. The others are ready. We've found 20 more Miran throughout former Voidari territory. Each has chosen a human partner. And where will you go? Hana smiled. Everywhere. The Miran can travel faster than our fastest ships. There are worlds humans haven't seen for thousands of years. Places we visited together in the past. Will you come back? Of course, Hana said. This is still my home, but someone needs to show humanity what the stars truly look like. She reached down to touch the seemingly solid form of Scarcat beside her. The cat-like creature purred, its once scarred body now covered in glowing symbols. No one else touches him but me, she said with a smile. And God help anyone who tries. Jiho watched. Hana and Scarcat walked to the airlock. There was no need for a spacesuit or ship. They simply stepped into the vacuum, their forms merging into a being of pure light that joined the others waiting in space. Together, the 6 energy beings, each containing a human and Miran partner, pulsed with blue light. Then, faster than any human ship could travel, they streaked away toward distant stars, leaving trails of light that lingered in space like a promise of return. The age of the Miran and humans had begun again. The end.